Hello and welcome to the AllMadeUp podcast with me, Harry Sticchini.
Me, Lewis Coleman.
And me, Ben Hart.
The show where each week a guest joins us in the writer's room to create a story like you and we have never heard before.
Not quite knowing what's around the corner or what we'll find along the way, as this podcast is exactly what it says on the tin.
It's all made up.
I like that. You went for the barrel roll this time.
Yeah. It's my go-to dance move.
Yeah. Absolutely smashed that one again.
It's nice to have all three of us back in here again, innit? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We've been busy bees over the past couple of weeks.
Very busy.
You've been away.
Yeah.
You've been at christenings.
Yeah.
Every weekend, Lou.
Yeah, I'm either at a christening, wedding, just any function, really.
30th, 40th.
Yeah.
You'll find you there. You ever can't find Lewis.
Yeah. He's like gate crashing Christians.
Well, how about this, right? What is
Christians?
the
Christenings.
So, yeah, well, maybe not at the minute. That's a bit of a topical thing. Hands off that one. Yeah.
What is the dress code for a christening?
It's suited and booted.
I'd say... No, I wouldn't say as much as a wedding. I'd say like you go in the evening of a wedding. I'd say that's what I would gauge it. So
Would you wear a tie?
I'd wear a shirt and jeans and smart shoes.
See, right, here we go.
Yeah.
So I put in, it was my mate's baby's christening.
Yeah.
So I put in group chat, I said, what is the dress code? Because the last time I went to a christening is when I broke my leg. But at the same time, I was thinking, I don't remember seeing like many suits. I just remember people like just looking smart.
Yeah.
And I went, I'm thinking jeans and jumper. And they went, jeans and jumper? Like, you know the dress code for a christening, Lewis. Like, so I put a poll in on the chart. I put suited, jeans and shirt, or other. They all selected other. Right. Just so I didn't know. Yeah. And so I've turned up in a full three-piece to this christening. One of only ones in a suit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So absolutely stitched up. And I just thought, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like, because...
What were they wearing?
Like, I don't know.
Football
like
kits.
Yeah. Shin pads. Shin pads and rosemary beads.
Yeah. It's five-a-side, what are you doing?
yeah. But I was just like, what is the etiquette for a christening?
What was the fact like the parents wearing?
Yeah, well, I expect them to be in suited and booted. Yeah. But if you're not a godparent, then surely it's just look smart.
Yeah, I would agree. What would you wear to?
I would wear a shirt, trousers. Yeah, I would go smart.
You'd wear a tie?
I would wear a tie, yeah.
Yeah. At what point?
Then later in the evening, round my head.
Right, here we go then. So you're at a christening, right?
Yeah.
And you're a godparent, you're wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah? You're a friend of the christening. You're still wearing a suit.
A suit, yeah, I'd wear a suit.
Yeah. It's like you've been invited to the christening by somebody else.
I wouldn't wear. Yeah, I'd probably wear an open. I'd wear a shirt, but it wouldn't have a tie.
See, in it mad how you just change your tie.
But I think it's like.
You wear a lot of shirts anyway, don't you?
Yeah, like a button down. You know what I mean? Just like an Oxford collar, something that's
Oxford collar,
a little Oxford collar.
Exactly. Yeah. I like a grandad shirt, mate.
Since you went travelling, you've changed.
Yeah. Always wearing Oxford collars there, you.
Yeah.
The 5 fellas are still outside carrying your stuff.
Yeah. There's actually 4 of them. One was a cook. I've not heard from them as well.
Did you plan to stay in touch?
Well, I kept in Naz. I've got Naz's number. He
For those who are just listening, if this is your first podcast, Harry's been to Africa and went up Kilimanjaro. I nearly said Kilimanjaro again. Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And he had like a few...
I had a team with me.
You had a team with you?
Yeah, I had a team with me. 4 porters who carry it all. The amount of people that have gone, do you have Sherpas? I'm like, no, because we're not in fucking Nepal. Right, okay, they're called porters. Everyone just thinks anyone that carries something up a mountain must be a Sherpa. Yeah. And if that's the case, a dad going up Snowdon on a Sunday is a Sherpa, right? But yeah, they've not been in touch. So, I'm a little bit gutted. But that's neither here nor there, because lately, albeit I've conquered the heights of Africa, I was on the battlegrounds of Windsor. This weekend, doing a gig in a what I can only describe as a coke den. It was. I walked into the room and immediately just thought, this is going to be aggressive. And the MC I'd never worked with before, he was the absolute spit of Eric Ten Hag. Absolute image of him, yeah. And I went, anyone ever said you like Eric Ten Hag? And he was like, who's he? And I thought, yeah, we're not going to be pals, me and you. But he did. He looked image of Eric Ten Hag. And then he went on and went full Sancho on the crowd, right, was just berating him because they were so chatty. And he was like, shut the fuck up. But like in a way that was authoritative, and then he was very good at getting the gig going into funny. Okay. But they would pipe back up and he would have to hammer him again. And I was thinking, I've got to get to Reading after this. So I said to him, like, you've got to be off at 10 past. You have to be off because I've got to get, away at past. So he's like, I remember him saying, he was like, I can't fuck about, I've got to get the first act on, and then introduce me. And yeah, there was a woman sat on a table who I was just like, you are an absolute tit. And I just had to deal with her again and again and again. And then other people in the room over this side are like, we're here for comedy. And then you've got two groups that are just not here for comedy. And that is the thing when people are like, oh, what's comedy like? It's like, you don't go into a room, in every room, and everyone's attentive. Like, you walked into that room, you were like, oh, this is aggressive. This is very aggressive. And after that, they clear all the chairs out and they all just,
I thought Windsor was posh. I thought Windsor was like a posh.
Yeah, I thought
but not basically. Windsor's very small, right?
Well,
So
second name.
people travel into Windsor for the like. Not many people live in Windsor, so you get a lot of people from like Slough and things like that kind of like come in.
Okay.
But yeah, Windsor is very nice. You don't get me wrong. You see the castle and that, but then goblins everywhere.
You're right about the comedy though, because I think people have different perceptions of what comedy is. So like, I think like a lot of my dad. So my dad's got a pub, and a lot of people say to me, "Oh, do you get heckled all the time?" I was like, no, it's not actually that common that like you get a heckler who is like a trouble causer. But I think that gig I did last week, that was a good example of what people think comedy is, and people think it's combative, and people think that you're there to tell them all to be quiet. Well, I quite like that combative style, but sometimes it goes quite too far. And like, there was one fellow who just went, "Will you just shut your fucking mouth?" Yeah. And then one woman did count sexually to me last week though. She was like, that bit where I warmed the crowd up, where I go, let's do a 1 out of 10 round of applause. I went, I'm not going to do them all. And she looked at me, she went, say every number.
Oh wow!
And I was like, I need to get off this stage.
Yeah. Hide your erection.
I was wearing skinny jeans. But no, yeah. And then so was your other gig good?
I got to Reading after that, and I was just like, it was a belting gig. Everyone was like so switched on for it. But I was at the Comedy Store the night before that, and that was superb. You ever heard of Ben Norris, comedian Ben Norris? Yeah. He is superb on stage. Just like, he was so good at like working with different things in the room, and you can just tell when you're watching someone like going, you're kind of unflappable, you know, in any situation. So like, I was watching him, and he was great. But yeah.
Why do you like the Comedy Store in London? I've never done the Comedy Store in London.
It's ace. It's 400-seater, and like they're right on top of you, which is great. There's like nowhere to hide.
Yeah, you'd love
that. It's one of them where I got told it's like the hardest gig you get, but then the easiest gig you'll do, because it's like it's difficult to get it wrong in that room. But it is one of them where
like hot water. Like
I think the layout's just perfect for it, and like the amount of people that have been on there, you know, on the stage historically is like, it's just steeped in history. But yeah, I've seen some people on that stage where you're like, wow, you are absolutely rocketing this gig. So, there's levels to it. And I'm not at them levels yet.
Speaking of comics, why do you not let the listeners and viewers know what comic we've got on today?
Oh, yes. So our guest for today is the brilliant Phil Chapman, who is, you probably recognise him if you're ever up to date with like Hot Water Comedy Club. He's one of the resident compares there, and they have like thousands of videos that go out online, and Phil is in quite a few of them. Razor sharp MC, unbelievable comic in terms of his turnover. He's written for like BBC Radio 4, and he's currently on tour, or going on tour, should I say, in February and March of next year. He's in Manchester, Belfast, Glasgow, Stockton. He's in loads of different places, but you can get all the details for where Phil is on tour on his website, which is philchapmancomedy.com. I'd recommend checking him out. He's very, very, very good. And I actually worked with him last Wednesday, and he was he was very good, but I'm not going to repeat what he said because the context of a comedy club would probably take away from it.
I've never met him in person before, but I've seen so many clips online, which either are coming from Hot Water, but he's just constantly got new content, and he's constantly got new material, and it's like he must write every single day. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like. In this setting. He's
got a creative mind, doesn't he? So he's.
He's been gigging a long time as well. He's a very good mate of Paul Smith's. And he's been doing a lot of tour sport for Paul Smith. And what's funny is being a compare at Hot Water, because Paul is like such a, the figure.
He's the face of it, isn't he?
When you're comparing, like, there's people that go there expecting Paul, and when they don't get Paul, they're almost like, who the fuck are you? So like, it's being able to deal with that as well. But he's a fantastic comic. So buzzing to have him on, because I think this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Excellent. So, this is going to be All Made Up with Phil Chapman.
It's all made up again. Yeah. It's all made up again.
We are back with the brilliant Phil Chapman.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
what a trek it's been.
It's
a bit of a weird place.
It is.
Yeah. There's like a map on like COD.
I get that. Yeah. You can get lost in them corridors.
Yeah. That car park's wild as well.
We need
potholes in the Gaza Strip. It's been mad.
We didn't say nothing's off limits at the start. So.
We're hoping that car park is in it. It has got better. It used to be horrendous. Honestly, yeah. There was like
It
still is.
But less angles. Yeah.
Did you park the far end of it as well?
No, I just found a space between two cars.
Because there's no like allotted bays.
Yeah,
Some people do park. But yeah, I'm not going to share that because it's illegal. But there was someone parked the car in a way that...
I'll tell him, yeah.
Yeah, Ben kicked someone's car because it was parked across the path. He was like, I'm not
couldn't
having
get
this.
past.
Could you not?
No.
Oh, there you go. You're well within your rights.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's what I told the policeman,
picked a fight with a Toyota.
Yeah, and it won. I had a sore foot for days.
I've done that where someone's parked like dead far away from everyone. And I've gone and parked right next to them. Really close.
Yeah. But right, question to the room then. If I go like food shopping and stuff like that, I'll park my car the furthest away because I don't want to get hit by doors.
That's what my mum does.
Yeah.
She practically parks on that B&Q when we got Asda, and I'm like, why? Why park that far away? I don't get it.
Because you don't want people in your car.
But why are you so nervous about that? Has it happened before?
Yeah. People are idiots.
People are idiots. I think it's worse when people do it in like a shit car. Do you like when you park like a 2012 Qashqai?
Yeah.
Like Miles would be like, what you asked about, mate?
Do you park far away?
No, I park wherever I can.
Yeah, as close as possible for me. If it's
normal
like,
people.
I'll use disabled bay, me. I don't give a fuck. Loads of space there. You're not getting dinged anyway.
No, yeah.
I got told something very interesting on the weekend, right? I was
more interesting than parking.
Yeah, well, it's to do with cars. It's to do with cars.
Slow it down.
It's to do with cars, right? Do you know in London they've got these like private members club that are like have you ever done like the sightseeing around London? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There is a very famous building where like Winston Churchill was once a member of, and outside there is a concrete step where Wellington would stand on to get on his horse. Like it's like he was part of this club. Like he's fucking top like people. They're probably not nice people. It's just very exclusive.
Yeah.
But the point being is, I was speaking to someone that was working a function at one of these places, and it was for like thespians and like directors, producers, and all that, and things like that. Anything to do with the arts. And they had two people perform at a function for them. One of them was a new member that was Sting, right? Okay, and this is obviously like a really high class club, and Sting turned up in a Ferrari, and the guys at the club were like, "It's a bit too flash, that mate." Like we don't do that. I like the idea of it being like a private members club, and everyone's got like a Yaris. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's very exclusive to get into, but you can't be too flash. And I was just like, I wanted to speak to this person. I don't want to say the name because they're going for a job interview.
Can I hear a phone?
You can.
Is that me? Is that you?
It's not me.
It's not me.
That's coming from
Is it
behind
Clem?
the curtain.
Is Clem off the phone?
It's coming from over
Yeah.
Yeah.
One sec, let me just check that out.
One sec.
Unless there's someone living in here and we don't know.
Well, I heard children screaming before. I assumed that was the
Do you reckon-
ghost.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
The ghosts of the mill.
What I wanted to ask, Harry, was where did that story come from?
Because why?
All
right. I'm slightly. I don't want to share the person's name because it could ruin their future career prospects. But it was someone I met at a comedy club. I'll put it that way.
No, but what I'm saying is like, how did the
Because
conversation?
we were talking about cars and saying about shit cars, and I was like, if you turn up in a flash car at some places, people.
Yeah.
Where it's like meant to be a flash place, they're like, don't do that, don't be
What
a dickhead.
comedians are you working with that are going to these nice clubs?
Wasn't a comedian.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
Go on, who was it?
Who was
No,
it?
I'm not saying who because I don't want to ruin my career nor theirs.
Also, it's
but-
somebody who
It's a promoter. then.
as a say in your career.
Yeah.
No, it's not someone else to say in my career. They're just, do you know what? We're starting the episode again. I'm stitches. Snitches get stitches. I'm not saying.
All right, okay.
But the point being is,
I'm
Sting
keen to
turned
know.
up in a Ferrari. Everyone thought he was a twat. But if I had a Ferrari, I'd park it the furthest away from the shop door.
Are you into cars? Are you into your cars, Phil?
No.
No, I've got a Peugeot 206, and it does me. What's funny about it?
Yeah, what's funny about that?
All right,
kid.
scored a fan here.
Yeah. It's just
I'm not into cars,
Yeah.
but you a hairdresser or something.
your car is probably one of the worst smelling cars I've ever been in.
all right.
you can't deny that.
Yeah, it's because I'm like got loads of shit in it.
You've told me before. You were like, don't put it in the boot because it smells of arse.
Oh yeah, because all my footy gear's in there, and I just
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awful smell, that.
yeah, shin
So,
pads.
I was once driving I used to play ice hockey when I was a kid.
Oh,
and I
right.
was driving to the practice at like 4 a.m. You used to have to practice at like 5 a.m. So driving there, and I seen the assistant coach was in front of me, and he drove over a skunk, and it came up and went on my car, and the smell, you could smell on me skunk for like 3 days straight. And I spent like $250. This was in America. $250 getting it cleaned. Just couldn't get rid of the smell. I had to go and buy industrial size like tomato juice to pour on it because it neutralizes the smell. So wash the car in tomato juice and then wash it again. Get rid of the tomato juice.
Did it work?
It does work in the end.
Did you wash yourself in tomato juice
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well? Yeah.
In the shower, just on the head. All my ice hockey gear smelled of it.
Yeah.
How old are you when this has happened?
I was about 17.
Your mum comes in the shower, you're like, what's going on?
Well, she doesn't really walk in on me when I'm 17. She stopped at the age of 50.
So whereabouts did you grow up then, Phil? Because your accent isn't from Liverpool, is it? Whereabouts is it from? It seems like a mishmash of different places.
Well, like my family's from everywhere. Like,
right.
We were all over the shop. My parents are up north. My brother's in Japan. Sister's down south. Everyone's everywhere.
Right. Okay.
Cousins in America. Cousins in.
So was you born in the States or?
No, I was born in Middlesbrough.
Born in Middlesbrough and then spent some time in. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? I was like, what made you move back to the UK from going to America or?
America.
All right.
Just being there.
Whereabouts in America was you?
Texas.
Right.
Jesus,
wow,
right,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, real
Skunks.
America then,
Yeah.
I met someone that went to Texas recently, and they were like, "It is wild. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you can be in one place where it's like Stetson's. They were talking about Austin's meant to be really cool,
Yeah.
and then they were like Houston is like scary.
Yeah. That's where I lived, Houston.
Oh right, okay,
Yeah. That's scary.
It's like the new tech place, wasn't it? Texas.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the
I've
big
heard-
tech.
yeah, I've heard
it's
about
supposed to
that.
be like the new Silicon Valley, isn't it?
Yeah, because of the tax.
Yeah,
I know.
Lower taxes.
Joe Rogan's just opened a comedy club there called the Mothership, which is meant to be like unreal. But he was like ranting and raving about Austin like all the time. But yeah, I've just got told it's mental, Texas.
Yeah, it is mental. That's why I left. I
Right,
was like,
okay.
yeah, I'm not. This is not for me.
Have you gigged over there?
I did one or two.
Yeah.
I did. I grew up near the place where Bill Hicks
Oh,
grew
wow.
up.
Oh wow.
We almost moved into his neighbourhood because his neighbourhood was called Nottingham Forest. And we were laughing because like, it's a football team. And I played the comedy club that he started out in, the Laugh Stop.
All right.
But then it's moved to I don't know what it's like now, but it moved to like an upstairs venue, and then it was gone. It was a different Laugh Stop then.
All right.
Oh, cool.
How long all in have you been doing stand up? Because I remember hearing about you through Paul Smith ages ago, like in the days of The Crown when Hot Water was in the top of The Crown, and yeah, he I just remember him saying about you. But did you and him start at the same time? Or?
Yeah, me and him started within like probably about 3 months of each other.
All
He's
right.
like the guy that I met. You know, like when you meet someone on the first day of school, you stay
Yeah,
friends
yeah.
all throughout school. That's like me and him. We started doing stand up together. We did like a course, like we did like a comedy course thing, and then we did like a final. And
Right.
then we both did it together, and he won that final, and then that was us. Like that's
Yeah,
where we
you
became
were on
friends, and then we were just mates. Then
What
Oh,
year is
wow.
that?
I think it was 2007. So I think because I started like
Fucking hell.
doing stand up in like 2007, and then I started taking it seriously in like 2010.
I was
What, you start when you're like 12 or something? How old are you?
I'm 40.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, mate, keep doing it.
I know.
Moisturising.
You started comedy in 2007, and I'm like, I was listening to a lot of Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was
Wearing
so
that,
emotional.
That stripy H&M like jumper, being like, yeah, I'm just like all my other mates. Like this
Yeah.
is, I feel really unique. Yeah, I'm going down, down.
I've seen Fall Out Boy.
Really?
The Warped Tour, yeah. Used to go to the Warped Tour every year.
I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I was trying to kid myself for a year. But you're a fan.
Yeah, well, I used to like them. You know, I'll listen to them if they're still on. They're not my favourite band or nothing, but
I was in My Chemical Romance.
yeah,
that was me.
Yeah. Proper AFI.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Cool them.
How old
Not
are
an
you?
emo, not a proper emo, but
Yeah, tried a bit.
I listen to the music a bit. Yeah, I never got into the makeup.
No.
No. Didn't get the old spiky.
I used to have
thing.
a straightened fringe, mate, at one point.
Did you?
Yeah, not good. But yeah, go on.
What about the haircut you had the other day with the big quiff? What were all that about?
Oh, fuck me, yeah. My hair's curly, right? Okay,
Yeah.
like it's yeah. when it's wet, I put wax in it. It dries. That's how I do it, right? And I go to my little place in Monton, right? And the guy, without fail, at the end will blow dry my hair, and I'm like, just leave it every time. Just leave it. But he blow dries it completely straight, right? But then he didn't put like anything in it, right? And I was like thinking in my head, it's a 5-minute walk back to mine, so it'll be fine. But honestly, I had this like surfboard just on my head, and I came out the barber's, and this kid looked at me, and I could tell he knew that I knew I was a twat. And I just got back to mine and was like, I need to put water on this and get the curls back in immediately. But one of them where I was like, mate, just like, I've said don't do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember the haircut I had with the fringe.
Oh, mate.
I got absolutely butchered, right? So I usually go to this place in Culture, and it's like over £20 for an haircut, which I think is expensive for getting like a short back and side.
£17 for me.
Yeah, which I still think.
It was stormy when you were there. I suppose you didn't blow off.
Well, I think that's expensive. Anyway, that barber's weren't open, so there's one in Lee. I won't name it, obviously, but I went, and it was like £8 for a chop, and I was like, you know what? I'm going for that. And I went for it, and she did a mint job. It was class. And I thought, right, she's passed the test. Yeah. I'm saving myself £15. I'll go back again. Did it again. Brilliant. Fine. Went back a third time. Yeah, just short back and sides, please. Yeah, no problem. Does everything normally. Same person who's cut my hair each other time. Cuts it, looking class. And then, I don't know why, but she drags all my hair forward.
I think I've still got the picture.
Yeah. And then she just gets the scissors and then just single snips it. Just a big snip at the front, and then gets like the kitchen roll out and starts patting me dry. I'm thinking, like, why? Honestly, I look like a fucking idiot, didn't I?
No, you look like a German soldier from Call of Duty.
Yeah. The guy who gets fucking smashed in Inglourious Bastards.
You ever seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Do you know where they bring out the bear Jew? Yeah, he was his victim.
Yeah. What do you ask for you when you go? What do you ask for? You got quite an interesting hairstyle.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. So that's how I say it.
Yeah.
No, I just say, just trim. I have like a number 4 on the sides, and my hair is so thick.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really need it thinning out, and they always ignore me. Like they're always like, it's not that thick. Then every time I've told you about my barber. He always gives me weird compliments. No. He's always like, wow, your hair is the right amount of grey to brown. I'm just like, cheers, pal. Then one he was like, you've got a really round face. I was like, paints me, you fucking prick, you know. And then once he was like, you look like someone famous. James Corden. I was like, I'm going to stop coming to this place. You know what I mean? Keep insulting me. No, yeah, I quite like having longer hair now. I used to have a skinhead when I was younger.
Yeah.
I've got a big head, but me and you have big noddies.
I've got a massive head, yeah.
You've got a big head. You've got like a big proportion at the top from nose upwards. Yours is pretty
it's getting
big.
Bigger.
Yeah,
it's fucking going.
Yeah.
You've got a good head of hair for 40, mate.
Yeah.
What
do you ask for?
What?
What do you ask for at the snippers?
I just whatever. Just say, you know what it looks like normally. Yeah. I go to the Turkish guys around the corner. They always seem to get it right.
Yeah. How much are they charging?
It's like £20, but I get the beard done as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's prices just gone up. Barbers, it costs more now. It used to cost me 15. Yeah. You know, it used to cost me 12, and I'd tip him 3, so it become 15.
Yeah.
I think mine's about 12, but then the beard.
Yeah, but then it's now £17, and I don't give him a tip because I'm like, you were getting a tip. You were getting a tip, and now you're getting. If anything, I'm overpaying you.
Yeah. My dad used to cut my hair when I was younger.
Yeah, I wouldn't let my mum and dad do that.
I remember once he he slipped and put like a line in made there. I had to sit in school like this for about 2 weeks.
I used to have a mush cut, me. You ever used to have that? The mushroom cut? No. Proper bowl cut?
Bowl cut, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of them.
Yeah.
I had the undercut with the curtains.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, yeah.
Milky Bar kid, I used to get cold with that one.
I didn't have that. I had just a curly hair, mate.
I was thinking, you said we both got big heads. Your head is, if you're on paint, you choose like the middle one to drag up. Whereas mine's like the diagonal one. So it's in proportion, just gets bigger.
Yeah.
That's your head.
It's Jimmy Neutron.
What I wanted to ask is, you two gig last week together?
Yes.
Where was that at?
Hot Water.
How did it go?
Good. Yeah. Was I MCing?
You were MCing?
Yeah, I was MCing. Yeah, it was good fun.
I feel like I've seen so many clips online of you. Like, how many clips would you say you put out a week?
A week?
Because I feel like I've seen so many, like we've never met in person, but I feel like I've seen so much of what you do online on Instagram, whether it's Hot Water sharing it, yourself sharing it.
Yeah. Probably about 4 or 5 a week.
Wow.
I think,
And how much?
Like 15, 16 hours of me online.
Wow.
Like just all stand-up clips.
Yeah.
something like that.
And how much would you say you've got banked already for putting out in the
Oh, there's
future?
loads ready.
Is there?
Yeah. I've got so much to go out.
You write a lot though.
Yeah. I
Like,
do write a lot.
Yeah, I was saying before, like I've never seen you. I've not really seen you do a lot of sets, but even when you're MCing, I've never seen you do the same thing twice.
Yeah,
Like you know, you might ask similar questions and stuff, but like you did something the other day about like taking in refugees and stuff, and I was like, I've never seen that before. But it always seems to be very topical. You know what I mean?
I used to work for the news.
Oh,
Well,
did
not
you?
for the news, but in the news. I used to work in the news, so I've always like watched the news and that.
Right.
See what
Okay.
goes on.
Oh wow.
Where
Just
was what was that? What were you doing?
I was like publishing. I'd like make newspapers and then
Oh wow.
like just cut them up and like edit them, and then send them out to remote locations, like oil rigs and ships and whatnot.
Oh, sick. So
Yeah.
you're going on tour though, aren't you? So how are you finding writing your tour? Because obviously you're quite topical. You're saying you have to change it up all the time. Will you do?
But the tour's a bit different. I do like less topical stuff, but I do like a section of topical bits.
Okay.
So it's all stuff that's not going to last.
Yeah.
But it's good. You can sort of keep topical bits,
Yeah.
and then they'll come back into fashion. Or like you can repurpose an old joke and go, Joan
Yeah.
Rivers. Watched the interview with Joan Rivers, and she talked about that,
Oh, sick.
like how she used to do it.
Well, I think I seen you do that with the submarine bit, because I seen you put a clip out on YouTube, and it's
Yeah.
about how you used to do a bit about the submarine,
Yeah.
and then you sort of brought it back into the routine by
Yeah.
saying how you used to do a bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the jokes that I've lost bit,
Yeah.
that's a good bit, because then I do all the old jokes. Like, these are all the jokes that don't work anymore.
never-
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
people go, oh yeah, because they're on board. It's just the way you sell it, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember there was a bit, I think it might have been Ricky Gervais's Humanity, where he was saying about how he couldn't tell a joke. I can't tell this joke because I weren't allowed to say this bit or this bit. But obviously through doing that,
He tells the joke.
you're telling the
Tells the
bit,
joke.
aren't you?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like, yeah, but I haven't said it. I'm saying what I didn't say. And obviously that
Yeah.
the comedy comes from that. But it's clever, isn't it? It's like being able to repurpose
Yeah.
things that you know work and are bankable.
But you were complete opposite to me, because I don't think topical. I don't watch the news. Like I'm just, people tell me things and I'm like, oh, that's happening, is it? You know what I mean? Like I got back off holiday and my dad told me about what's happening in Israel, and I was like, cool, yeah, I can show you the pictures if you want of where I've just been. But he was like, the world's fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't work that way. But when it comes to like writing routines and stories and things like that, like which do you prefer, like topical or like, you know, you telling like an anecdote?
I just prefer topical. I don't like telling stories. I like to do like gags,
Oh, really?
Right, yeah.
like about whatever's going on as well. Like the fresher it is, the better.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
then people go, ooh, he's just written. Like I've written jokes on the way to gigs.
And then told them that.
And then
night.
told, like you know, like when the World Cup was on, I had a
Yeah.
double. So I was doing the first gig, and then England won in the break or drew or something like that. And then I went and told the joke that I'd written on the way to the gig, at the next gig, and then that went mad. So I was like, yeah, because if you can do it
instantly.
quick, people go, oh,
You're
Would
the
you
first
say
to do it,
that? Would you say that you've sort of like trained that muscle? Have you always been able to do that, or is it something you could do and you've just improved upon it?
I've
You know
just
what?
improved, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to love getting like back in the day, like back in the early 2000s, something would happen, you get a text message, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It was a
Right.
joke about it, and everyone get the same one.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah,
remember I
yeah.
was on stage when Michael Jackson died, and I come off, and there was like 20 gags, all from different people that had written one. And I was like, oof.
Yeah. None of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what you can be, if you can be that quick.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Be first out there, aren't you?
Yeah,
then?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I like doing.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, because like I used to sit there and just write jokes about what I was reading about, and then be like, oh,
Yeah.
there you go, I'll use that.
We never get bored of it either,
Yeah.
do you? Because
No,
it's
no.
always fresh for
There's
you.
always
isn't it?
fresh material.
But not a fan of writing stories.
I do the odd story, but I don't like telling them. I don't mind writing them, but telling them. Do you like
Yeah.
like story based stand up?
Yeah.
It's not my style.
If we
Well-
get it,
well-
send them over.
Thanks for watching, guys. That was today's episode.
Oh, you're talking about this shit.
Yeah. No. Well,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
tee up.
We'll do
Yeah.
the story. Yeah.
Let's tee up. So this is going to be all made up with Phil Chapman.
It's all made up, baby.
Right, and we're back. So, Phil, welcome to the writer's room where everything is all made up. So today we're going to be making a story together in this podcast. Have you written anything for like TV or like written a story before? Have you done anything like that?
I've written sketches for TV, yeah, or TV and radio.
All right, okay. And what was that for?
They were all for News Jack and News Quiz and something on CBBS, which never got made.
I cannot imagine you writing for CBBS.
Yeah, no, I did. I did a good job.
Yeah.
but it didn't get my sketch didn't get made. My bit.
What was the bit about?
I can't remember now. It was years ago.
It's
Like,
old
right.
news, that.
about
So you
5-6 years ago.
Right,
Something
okay.
like that.
And Newsjack, because I remember when I was at school and I was like, I wasn't doing comedy or anything like that then, but I remember like going online, if I typed in comedy, Newsjack used to be like this really popular thing. I don't really hear about it as much anymore. Is that like...
It's finished now, isn't it?
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Got replaced with like, what was it? Something like texted or like voice messages. Something to do with like voice message.
Right.
And it's supposed to be voice message. It's not Newsjack though.
Right, okay.
It's not done live, I don't think.
Okay.
Either, so it wasn't very...
Yeah, I know they pay, don't they? It's like 25 quid or something like that if your joke's used, and if it's used in more episodes, you get like...
they're sneaky.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
They
okay.
took my joke and put it at the top of someone else's sketch once, and I had to be like, that's my joke, you know. And they were like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so you were like, give me my 25 quid.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's tight.
Right, okay. And then, so what in terms of like writing sketches for TV, is it you get given a pitch, or you sort of see something online and you're like, yeah, I can write something for that? How does that process work?
I think they gave me a pitch and they were like, it's got to be, these are the characters you can use. And then I just wrote something around that.
Right, okay.
So, yeah. And it had to be set in a school, I think.
Because I think when you're watching, like more so now with social media and stuff like that, people like lots of sketches, like Josh Pugh as an example. Yeah. He's really good at what he does in terms of like writing that and it going out. But yeah, that my mind just doesn't necessarily work that way. I think more like narrative, you know.
Yeah.
Even within that clip, there is a narrative, but it's a person that you relate to. You think, oh, I've seen that person in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think the same when it comes to putting sketches like that together, or because I'm surprised you don't do more online with sketches?
I did used to do during the pandemic. I did loads of sketches because
Right.
I couldn't do stand up.
I watched the Hands Face Space.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The DJ Hands Face Space.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was, very popular. Yeah, no, I did loads of sketches during then. But then when I got back to stand up, I was like, oh no, because I'd had such a break. The first time I'd not done stand up in 10 years or something like that. So I was just like, nah, I need to get back doing that. And then that's what I started doing. So I haven't written. I've not written. I should get back into it because I was quite good at it, but.
Yeah,
Just having the time in it.
Yes.
How much time are you spending writing stand up?
Writing, I spend ages every week, probably a few hours a week, like probably about 8 or 10 hours a week writing.
wow.
And loads of it goes.
Yeah, and is that a case of like you reading the paper, seeing what's on there, going through Twitter, and being like, I'll do da.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just working on stuff, improving stuff, going through old bits. If I know I've got an old like bit that might relate to something in the news, I'll take that and go, oh, can I take that? What can I take out of these jokes? Like have that routine that can work here.
I think taking from like the news and stuff like that, because it's constantly refreshed. You're never starved of anything. You know what I mean? You can always have a take. As I work completely the opposite to you. It's for me, it's like what is going on within my life, or like the people within my life, and then I draw from that. So it's like sometimes I'm like, I need life to happen to me to then report back. You know, whereas you're like, you know, there's this, Rosh has done this. I've got that.
Yeah.
Constant feed,
Yeah, Putin being a knobhead has no impact on my life. Right?
Yeah. Well, it does because of the petrol prices, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what people...
I'll have a bit about my dad shouting. Be like, oh, this links back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but if your stand-up's different, isn't it? Like, if you're doing that, your stand-up's different. Everyone's stand-up's different.
Yeah.
Like, Paul Smith is a storyteller.
Yeah.
He's really good at just telling a story and making it come to life. I do topical stuff. You do that. The sort of stuff that happened in your life and that.
Yeah.
Everyone's got different. There's like one-liners. Everyone's got different. Some people do the one-liner. They write the punchline, then they go back and do the joke.
Because I spoke to Adam Rowe about this a while ago, and like Adam from 6 years ago is very different to where he is now. Not just like platforms and what he's on, but he's stand-up. It's like, did you ever did your evolution through becoming a comic go from like topical to something else and then back to topical, or was it just like, I'm doing this because...
No, I did like, I used to do like, when I first started, I was doing all like little stories and stuff because that's all I knew.
Right.
So, you know, when you're learning, you're sort of getting into going like, oh, how do I make that
work?
Yeah, make it funny. And then I realized, oh, you need jokes, because I used to just do funny stories. And then I was like, no, I need jokes. Then I moved on to jokes, and then I was like, well, I'll start doing topical stuff. I remember the first topical bit I did was, what was his name? Raoul Moat.
Yeah.
With the fishing.
Yeah, Gaza.
I had a really good bit about him, and it worked. And then there was just one day where it just didn't work, and I was like, oh no,
That's gone.
Yeah, my
Pitfalls of
jokes.
being
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you would never do it again after that.
No, it was like I did it the next gig and it still got the same. It's like the submarine gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like after 4 weeks, it just started not getting.
Yeah.
What, it used to get like you'd walk on, you'd do it, and it'd be like, wah! And then 4 weeks later, everyone was like, "What?
When I was at uni,
What's he on about?"
if you couldn't find the remote, you'd be like, "Where's Ralmote?"
Yeah,
That was always made me chuckle. And someone said it to me, and I was like, "You're a dickhead, Alex. That is funny. That is funny." But that is interesting. Yeah, just like the evolution of it all. Because I don't know. I think
It's different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own sort of style, aren't they?
I think as well when you first start out, you need that like script
yeah.
in your head because you can't do it. Like now, I can go on and just
play with an idea.
yeah, and I can write a joke on the stage and do
Yeah.
it there and then.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say something and I'll go, "Oh, there's a joke there," and I'll do that. But when you're first starting out, you haven't got that looseness yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Still
Very
quite
much your
stiff.
focus is on what you've got
Yeah.
rehearsed, and then over time, your vision sort of like opens. Like, oh no, there's something over there that I can pull on. There's something there.
Yeah.
But
It's like
yeah,
watching acts starting out. It's like watching kids play football. You
Yeah,
know, they're
yeah.
like 8 and they're all just chasing the ball around, no position or nothing like that. And then
Yeah, yeah.
eventually they start to, if I pass it,
Yeah.
I can do better.
I just had a flashback to my childhood there, which I didn't enjoy.
Pass the ball out.
I just remember being at United when I was 8. So just brought them memories back to me.
He's never mentioned that.
Professional
he played for
athlete,
United when he was younger.
Did you?
Yeah, very
yeah.
very young, only for like a few years.
Yeah, more than I played there. So.
Yeah.
Was it Van Gaal who sold you?
No, Van Gaal wasn't there. It was still Fergie when I was there.
Right, that was
Fergie
it.
sold you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've seen you on them clips like Fergie's biggest regrets.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the actual story making for today. So, Phil, in front of you there's 3 pots. It's going to be our starting sentence, our ending sentence, and then like a prompt to sort of spice this story up that we made together in between.
Okay.
But before we get into them, we sort of make a character together.
Yeah.
Okay. So this character is going to travel through this make-believe world, what we're going to make up.
Right.
So what would you like as the lead writer today, your character's name to be?
Oh, Denzel.
Right, okay.
We never had a Denzel.
No,
Yeah.
first Denzel on the show.
And how?
Second name.
Yeah. Second name. Go on.
Jackson.
Denzel Jackson. I'll have.
Denzel Jackson.
I have an image of what he could look like.
Whereabouts is he from?
Where's he from? He's from, let's say, Leeds.
Leeds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Denzel Jackson from Leeds.
And how old's Denzel?
26.
All right. So he's in his mid-20s. Yeah, he's prime of his life.
Yeah.
Is it the prime of his life, would you say? Is he having a good time? Is he having a bit of a bad time? What's he do for a job?
Oof. He's a bit of a renegade. He's a wheeler and dealer.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dirty
yeah.
Den.
Yeah.
Like a man.
Dirty Dan,
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got one. He goes from one little scheme to the next.
Right. So
Yeah.
bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Jack of all trades.
a low-level criminal.
I wouldn't say criminal.
You said he goes from one scheme to the next.
Yeah.
But like,
You go from you get do like MLM. You know, do the little
Yeah.
I don't know
what's
what
that
is.
multi-level marketing? It's not multi-level.
yeah.
pyramid
So when
scheme,
you get
yeah.
like a Facebook page,
Like a
and you're
pyramid scheme.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Juice Plus was one. And
Yeah,
stuff
he's
like
probably
that.
got like a Facebook page
Yeah.
and that. And
Right. Okay. So is he with these schemes? Is it like? Is
sells
it
stuff
more?
on TikTok?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
like sell stuff on TikTok? Is it like what was it? Is like a? Would you find him on a car boot, or is he more like 21st century?
Oh, well, let's do 21st century because, or can we go back to the
Anytime,
past?
mate.
You
yeah.
go
So
anywhere.
You can pick
well,
your
let's
time.
change it up, right? Denzel Jackson, 38 years old. He's from,
38.
yeah, he's got older. 38 years old. He's made it through to the early 1900s at the cusp of the start of the World War One.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's do that. I
it
think it's
is-
more interesting.
And he's
I
still
thought it
from
was
Leeds.
just current time.
No.
He's still from Leeds.
This is 1913.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
1913 from Leeds.
Yeah.
He survived the Titanic.
What's his name? Franz Ferdinand is about to be.
no,
is it
No,
Franz-
it's still Denzel. It's still Denzel Jackson. It's just a different period
Denzel
of time.
Jackson. Yeah,
I know that, but it was Ferdinand who got shot, didn't it?
Yeah, Franz
Oh, which
Ferdinand.
started the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop talking about United.
So yeah,
Denzel sold him the gun.
it's a cap gun. Fuck.
Right, okay, so let's just recap here. So it's Denzel Jackson, 38, lives in Leeds. We're on the cusp of the First World War.
Yeah.
And he's still a wheeler dealer, but in them times.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what sort of schemes has he done around that period? So we're saying that he sold Franz Ferdinand the gun. Is that
Yeah.
one of them?
No, he sold the bloke that shot Franz
So-
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot himself.
Yeah,
you see.
he got
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. It was the
Okay.
bloke that
I imagine
shot.
him a bit like a snake oil salesman. You know,
Right.
like who just sells like products that don't work. Basically.
Yeah,
like sells a
like,
dream almost. Like
yeah.
he sells that BT Barnum guy.
P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, he ended up selling fake snake oil. The British Showman's not accurate actually, but it's
But just has he got a bit of money, Denzel?
Yeah, no. Sometimes
Right,
he has,
okay.
sometimes he hasn't.
I'm just wondering if he's made his money through like looms and then eventually being like, right, the looms have been and gone. I'm going to start on something else. So I'm just wondering, is it like feast and famine? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I know what you mean by a
weaving.
loom, but that's a hell of a reference there.
No, it's mate. We're talking
the
like
first thing that came to your head. I mean, we're in a mill, I suppose.
yeah.
That's where you got
Well, I'm
the-
thinking industrial.
I don't even know what a loom is.
No,
You use it to make textiles.
All right,
It's one of
okay.
them things with all the strings on it, and it goes back and forth.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I know what you're on
Kill
about.
loads of kids in the Victorian times.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And just a quick one. Does he have any family?
yeah.
Does he live with them or?
No, yeah, he's got a mum, an elderly mum, and a brother named Steve.
So we've got
Steve Jackson.
Steve Jackson.
Yeah, Steve Jackson.
And Steve is still living with Denzel, and the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mother are all under one roof.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's
And-
38, you said, so you changed it to 38.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any love interest for Denz?
Oh, he's a womanizer.
All right,
Yeah,
shagger.
yeah.
Right, okay.
Wait, like, does he find them? Wait, pubs are about
taverns.
tavern there. Because it confuses me how far back. Because in my head, when we go back like 100 years, I don't know if it's like pubs, taverns.
It's pubs, isn't it? It's like if you see a woman's ankle, you think, fucking hell.
Right. Okay.
It's everything's very. There's no like low. You know what I mean? Everything's covered in it.
It's
Victorian times. It's Victorian times.
1912, wasn't it? No, it's
You're coming out the back of
it's
like
not Victorian times.
Queen Victoria is still.
Yeah,
your
Denzel's
age.
coming
is
out the
that
back of
Victorian
Queen
times?
Victoria.
Just before World War I.
Yeah. Wasn't she in charge for World War One?
No, it was it was George
Wasn't
the
it?
George
Fifth.
I think George V was the Queen's dad. It's World War One started in 1913, didn't it?
It started in 1940.
Right. Fucking hell.
Essentially, it's the fucking cusp of World War One. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he's got family. Let me just go through here. So he's got some family. He's a bit of a wheeler dealer. Has he got any kids?
Yeah, but none that he knows about.
Right. Okay.
yeah,
so he
yeah.
spread his seed.
He's a
Yeah.
womanizer,
Honestly,
isn't he?
it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right. I think we've got a bit of information there, enough to start anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So Phil, if you pick one of these green little sentences here and put Denzel where the blank is and read it out.
Denzel always dreamed of entering the local talent show.
Right, okay. So that's
Yeah.
where our story's going to start.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, we're going to find out where it ends. So if you pick up a red one.
This one or this one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you got it.
You can turn around if you wish to see the colours. God, that's funny. Just the fact he's in a talent show.
Oh, they turned down the £1 million prize money
Right, here we
Super.
go. What a
in
thing.
1912. That's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
imagine that's like better than
Yeah.
Britain's Got Talent. You know what I mean?
It's Europe's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So
Europe's got trenches.
You haven't got trouble. Yeah.
so he's entering a talent show.
Yeah.
What could his talent be? Is he a singer? Is he a dancer? What can he do? What do you think?
Oh, I reckon he'd be good at singing. Bit of a crooner.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got an idea here, right?
Yeah.
I think it's one of them where he's a fraud, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's going in with like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, and like blags his way, you know what I mean, through the competition, either by like lip syncing, if it's singing, or if it's like, you know, fire eating, something like that. You know, he's a wheeler he did. He's a trickster, isn't he? Like he is.
What if Steve is the talented singer?
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's a twist.
Yeah.
But
Right.
That's the,
is it one of them where it's like Denzel's got the looks,
Yeah.
but Steve's got the talent, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's singing from behind a curtain, and maybe we have that arc of like at one point Steve going, you know what, I should be the one getting all the recognition, but the prize money might be the thing.
yeah,
that,
so that's the
Yeah.
I think it's
that's a
good
nice
sort of-
arc. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's entered the talent competition. Where is this talent competition? Is it in Leeds? Has he travelled for it? Where is the talent
For
competition?
£1 million,
set?
I imagine it'd probably be more centralised in London, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
But we could make it somewhere quite local because that'd be funnier, wouldn't it?
Oh, you wish.
Like a
There
small,
could be different rounds
yeah.
for £1 million competition. You reckon
Yeah.
it wouldn't just be one?
Oh yeah, it's like British Comedian of the Year.
Yeah,
Where
18
there's
rounds.
things in like Aspie de la Jouch.
Yeah. He won his heat in Leak.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I reckon. So we've got a bit of progression here. Right. Let's say.
Can we make Spiky Mike run the talent show?
Yeah.
Can we do that? That's got to be.
I reckon.
Michael back then.
Yeah.
We start off with the first heat. Okay, so let's start our story there.
Yeah.
So where's the first heat of this competition?
Well, it's got to be near Leeds, isn't it? It's got to be like Pontefract or something.
Right,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
So Pontefract, first heat, and he's going in, and is it like he's seen it on a billboard saying there's a talent competition, £1 million prize,
Town crier.
town cry,
You know what I
right?
mean?
Yeah.
Okay,
Some-
Everyone in the town's talking about this. Is
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
big
yeah.
event, isn't it? £1 million prize.
I love your perception of history, Harry.
Back in the 90s.
Town crier. It's got to be in it.
I
With his bell.
reckon you think from the 1200s to 1900s is all the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing happens
Yeah.
like that time.
It was like people walking around with, with boards in the front and back of them. That type of thing. So yeah, I reckon he's heard a town crier going competition, Pontefract.
But it's a talent competition, so
Yeah.
people are. It's not just going to be singing. There's going to be dancers, fire breathers, or whatever. All different sorts of acts.
I think the name for the competition is the Jewel of the Empire, right? And it's like the British, because the British Empire at that point is like at its kind of it's fucking buzzing.
Yeah.
So they've been able to scrounge £1 million, across all the different,
Well, it's because they know they're going to war and they need something that just sort of butter them up beforehand. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
in the back pocket. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like, we'll
yeah.
just distract them with this competition that's going
Yeah,
on and
yeah.
there's going to be a war going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, town crier goes, yeah, talent show, £1 million prize, blah, 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 blah. Denzel hears this and then his first thought is, how am I going to win it?
Yeah. I need that £1 million.
Yeah. So what his first scheme is, how am I going to win it? And he thinks, does he go home? And he's like thinking, and he's at the kitchen table. His mum's just cooked him tea, and then Steve's in shower, and he starts singing,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he sounds fucking good.
What's he singing? Is it like the national
Yeah.
anthem?
What is he singing? What do you reckon he's singing from?
Oh, it'd be something from 1912, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah.
unless he's singing.
Yeah.
Feel by Roy Williams.
yeah.
Come and hold my.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll
like
talk about that. Maybe just like an old music hall song or something. So
Right.
no, when I'm cleaning windows is a bit too. Yeah, when I'm cleaning windows.
I
something
like the
that.
idea of him singing "Feel"
Yeah,
by Robbie
yeah,
Williams.
yeah.
I just really like that. Unless you've got another song to mind, like
No.
I predict a
I'm-
riot.
I'm
by
yeah.
the guys.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
classical tune, is it?
Yeah. I'm just thinking. Yeah, is
Or
it
could it be like an opera song? You know what I mean? Like
Nessun Dorma or something? What is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
something like big Pavarotti tune.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
get them chills
Right.
for
Okay.
Italian 90.
So, yeah. What I was going to say is, how do you reckon Denzel will pitch the competition to Steve? Like, how does he sort of wangle his way around getting him to be the voice and him be the face of the? Do you know what I mean?
I reckon Steve's in on it from the start.
Do you think?
Right.
So?
Yeah, because they work. They're brothers who work together and they
Right. Okay.
look
So
after each other. Mum's like, you look after him no matter what.
right. Okay.
I reckon Steve's probably a bit slow.
Yeah, my head even is like a low reading age.
Steve's a bit slow, but he's
That's
got-
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Do you mean Lenny from Nice and Men?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, Steve, you sing and I'll mime.
yeah,
And Steve is like, I think that sounds genius.
yeah.
But as what's he said the split's going to be? It's going to be 50-50 on the £1 million?
Yeah,
Oh.
well, he's told him there'll be a split.
Right.
I reckon at the end he's going to be like, don't worry, I'll look after the money.
Yeah, I'll sort you out. Sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So essentially, this competition, let's say, is on a Friday night. It's in the town hall of
Look,
Pontefract. Go on.
You're talking about the final there?
No.
Oh,
This
right,
is the
okay.
heat. This is the
okay.
first.
Yeah.
So they go to the competition together, and I'm just trying to think, how are they? Surely it's against the rules for him to sing behind a curtain
Yeah.
and him to be the face. You know what I mean? Because you're sort of splitting the talent between two people.
It's
So-
cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do they? What is the plot? How do they get around that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Maybe he gets a job at the theatre pulling the curtain.
yeah,
You know,
I
that's how
like.
he's like, oh, I'll get you a job there.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
What if is a better idea, right?
Saucepan.
So, yeah, no, I'm thinking comedy value and the idea of him being a schemester.
Yeah.
What if Denzel pretends to be blind, right? And Steve, his brother, is his guide. And he takes him to the middle of the stage. So he's stood next to him, and all he's doing is, obviously the noise is coming from one of them, but they're that close together that you can't really
What, so
tell.
it's like ventriloquism
Yeah.
on a big scale.
Yeah,
Like-
but with a man that's pretending to be blind. I don't know
the
what.
way your sign just fell off.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's fine. We've got to get new Velcro. But you know, if you're listening and you want to fund the podcast, there's your fucking first point of call. All right, okay.
Super glue, yeah.
Maybe he was. Oh yeah, I was going to say maybe he was injured in the war, but it hasn't happened yet.
Well, maybe that's what he says.
Yeah, he was injured in the last war.
We were injured together. I went blind, and he's burnt his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just holding his face as he like this.
Yeah.
Like that famous.
Well, they used to do that thing where they painted the faces, didn't they? And
Yeah, stick them on him, yeah.
Just, like,
What's this?
Like when people got injured in the war and that, they'd like get the face blown off.
Yeah.
They just paint a mask and then they'd wear that.
You're not seeing this?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the series Boardwalk Empire? There's a character who has he's basically like an early prosthetic, and they put half his face is missing. It's like caved in, and he puts this like it's just a mask on, but it's painted as like an eyebrows, lips, glasses.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
No.
Yeah, it's not all comedy on this podcast, mate.
Yeah, learning as well.
There's facts in there.
But I think a mask. I think they sort of lie again, sort of like to make
Yeah.
themselves
Right, so-
more of a sympathy act.
Okay. So essentially, they're saying they've been injured in some sort of way. That's why he's blind and needs to be led to the stage.
And
Yeah.
they love a sob story in these competitions.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's laying it on thick, right? You know what I mean?
You knew he needed a sub story right at the start.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
through to the final.
They don't even ask, and he's like, I just want to say I'm injured.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right.
yeah. Well, this will be the first time they've had a sob story, maybe.
Yeah.
Like this is the original sob story. But let's just to clarify for the listener and the viewer, Denzel is pretending he's blind,
Yeah.
Correct.
and Steve is pretending he's burnt his face off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a mask on his face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
Awful
drawn
thing to
on,
do, yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's the singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can only get a job looking after his brother.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's a nice time to get a prompt in.
Yeah. I just really like the idea. So one's blind.
Yeah.
The other one has burnt his face off.
It's off.
But still has his eyes.
Yeah.
Just the idea of being
Well,
like,
he shut his eyes during the fight, didn't he?
Yeah. Common sense. First thing you do. Yeah.
right, okay.
He's not soft.
Yeah. So
He's a lead
he's got
guy.
his eyes. So the painting is from like nose down. Cover it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I reckon we get a prompt in. So if you pick from the middle pot, Phil, and then this is just we're gonna incorporate this story. And if there's a little tag next to it, that means someone sent it in.
All right, and his back door had been smashed in by Louis Aylesbury.
Oh, that's the person who sent it in.
Yeah.
Not even been smashed in by Louis Aylesbury.
No, but let's make it Louis Aylesbury.
Yeah.
Has smashed his back door in.
Okay.
Right, it's right. Right.
That is funny.
So Denzel or Steve's back door has been smashed in. Right.
But they live in the same place, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be their actual arsehole. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say this a bit harsh. That's
for
why
a
the
bit of
dad doesn't live with them anymore.
My head went straight to fucking
Arsehole, yeah.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to be that, Lewis.
Okay.
I'm like,
What
in
a
the middle of a
prompt to pick out of the thing. Let's pick out that. We've got a nice story about a talent show.
you wanna
And
make-
he was raped.
You want to
Yeah.
make it in this business? Wow.
Okay, right.
But no, yeah. I reckon as a bit of to avoid your sort of sexual assault, maybe it's so maybe they've won this round of the competition.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'll tell you what's happened.
Go on, Phil. You
I'll
tell
tell
us
you
that.
exactly what's happened. The back door's been smashed in and someone's robbed the mask. Because they had to spend because it was back in the 18...
Right, yeah.
19
Right.
12,
So
whatever.
they're just about to go on to perform.
Yeah.
Someone smashed the back doors in of the establishment, not just come in and smash their back doors in.
Yeah.
They've come in, robbed the mask, left, and then they're like, right, what are we going to do in this situation to perform and still get through this heat?
Yeah.
So what, like, two things I want to know. How did they do that? But also, what's the incentive for the person who stole the face mask? Is it someone else in the competition who's done it in order to sort of like sabotage their performance? Or
Yeah, well, criminals all know each other, don't they? So they must have all...
Yeah, they're in a WhatsApp group.
No, but I reckon it was like... I don't think it was his first idea to go with his brother. He must have had other ideas. So maybe he's floated the idea with other people, and they're a bit like, well,
so it's full of criminals, this talent competition now, because they're all after the £1 million draw.
Yeah.
Right, okay. But how in particular then are they getting through this talent competition once this mask has been stolen? Is he just going on covering his face? Like, because he has to go and sing, doesn't he? So
Denzel picks up a kettle and just launches it.
yeah. Well, does Denzel turn sinister and start attacking his brother in order to,
Or he
I
just
mean-
walks on facing the other way.
yeah, that's another way.
Yeah,
What are you thinking, Harry?
Denzel's like, why didn't I think of that before I threw the kettle?
Yeah, you're right.
That was a good idea.
I actually had it as they do the heat and they win. They go through, right? This is what I had.
Right,
so
yeah.
they win, and then it's like, fucking hell, we've smashed it, right? So we're in the final, which is at the Palladium in London, right?
Right.
Do you really think they'd have one heat? Do you
No,
they'd
yeah,
be
I think you're getting there too soon, mate.
Yeah,
You reckon? Well,
I think
Yeah,
they'd do Pontefract, then Leeds, and then sort of
right,
the
okay.
north.
Okay, well, I think they win the heat,
Yeah.
and I think it's a case of they've pulled it off by like just being a bit smoke and mirrors, and then that's the name. They're at smoke and mirrors, by the way.
Yeah, Denzel's the smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm the mirrors. Covered in a glitter suit.
Yeah, I'm really reflective.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the fire victim should be the smoker.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, what if they get away with it because Denzel's got a long trench coat and he stands on his shoulders, and they walk on stage, he's like a tall singing man.
Oh,
So
right.
last minute, like, what can we do? Get on the shoulders.
No,
Yeah, that's proper Little Rascals sort of, yeah.
I've got it. They win the heat, right? They pull it off by just the mask works, right? And then they're through to the next heat. And I think it's in between this next heat that the mask it goes missing, if it's going to go missing, right? Because it could be the house is broken into and it's nicked after that, or it could be that Denzel, because he's obviously a bit of a wheeler and dealer, has like a warehouse where he keeps all these kind of bits and bobs, and his place is like raided by the police, say for instance, And
Right, I like where you went with like they've won the heat, they've gone back home, they're like, right, fucking hell, now we've got to prepare for Leeds.
Yeah.
The big side.
Yeah, now we've got to prepare for Leeds, Steve. So get down, take your mask off, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have a discussion in the middle of the night. Back door gets smashed in.
Yeah.
right.
What are you laughing at?
Grow up.
Back door gets smashed in. Mask goes missing. It's the heat. The following day, or like, is it like one of them where when it's like X Factor finals and it's like you do the semi-final and the day after is the final? Is it like, or did they have time to prepare for?
I think they've had time. So I think they've had time because I think it will have been in the local news that two lads have won.
Yeah,
and they're on their way to Leeds. I think.
Things are a lot slower back then, aren't they?
Yeah, so I
Right.
think, there's enough time for the town to know and people to go, he's not blind.
Oh, right. So people, yeah.
But maybe someone from the competition scene, and we're like, I'm onto him
Yeah.
because he was looking at stuff.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah,
So
wasn't reading a book with his fingers.
Yeah,
you know what? I think what it is there's been a disgruntled talent, somewhat like a disgruntled performer from the Pontefract Heat who has realised that they actually have wore a mask and a phone is fakes.
Yeah.
And that's the person who has gone, smashed the back doors in,
Yeah.
Said,
nicked the mask.
You're having it, you cheating bastard.
Yeah. So I reckon we put a bit of skin and bones on who
Yeah.
this performer could be. So who else entered this competition in Pontefract?
Oh, well, there's a magician.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
At Houdini.
Yeah.
No, go on. What's the what was
he
the
from Leeds?
I think he visited the UK.
Did it? At some point.
Yeah.
Hello, Ellen Road.
Yeah.
Go on, who's in this comp?
So there's a magician.
right?
There's someone with a girl with a dog. There's always a girl with a dog.
Oh,
There's a
dancing.
dancing girl with a dog. There's a comedian. There's I'm trying to think. It's someone that can dance with a sheep.
Yeah, I imagine someone that that plays crystal glasses, that type of thing. Like a
Tap dancer as well. Tap dancer
someone
maybe.
that plays the spoon. Tap dancer.
Yeah.
Ballet dancer.
Spoons really impressed me. I really like watching someone play the spoons.
If they can do it well.
Yeah,
It's
quite a
stuff.
skill.
Yeah.
So my birthday, but be a spoon.
Of them performers, who would we say would be the most disgruntled?
magician.
Yeah.
Jaded as fuck, then, mate.
Yeah.
And what name are we putting on this magician?
Oh, I don't know. What's a good
Miraculous.
name? Yeah.
It can be just a basic name.
Yeah,
It can
kind
just
of.
be, and then
I
like
imagine like a very classic
It's
gentleman.
every time I've thought of a name, I've gone, oh, that's an actual magician.
It's alright. It can be a real magician.
Oh, yeah, but they're not.
Okay.
They're on the because like magicians are trying to they do comedy now, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't want to get
What
an
if,
awkward green
what if his name's
situation.
like Peter Holmes? I'm picturing like a very pencil tash, almost like Troy Hawk, that type of like look. So yeah, I'm gonna go like Peter Holmes. I'm just thinking.
Well, it's
Peter Holmes, the illusionist.
yeah.
right. Peter Holmes, the illusionist, right? And he's a bit bitter, is he?
Yes, very quite astute gentleman. Talking with quite a clipped accent, that type of. You fucking you naughty little fucker. That mask is painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That creeps me out, Larry, because I know you've done that
Tell
somewhere
you,
else, probably.
You're not blind, you boy.
Right,
That
okay.
type of,
But I imagine that he's saying that aloud to himself whilst they're performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
choking a dove to death. Like, fuck. It's all ruined.
Yeah, they've outclassed him. That was his act, was it, with the dove? He's been on with the dove,
Yeah,
done a
he's-
few magic tricks,
Yeah.
and then they've gone on after him. He's still got the dove in hand. He started singing, thought, fucking hell, they're good. Crushed the dove. And he goes, fuck, I've
Yeah.
got no act.
Yeah. Jesus. I've totally fucked
Phrase
it.
it doesn't
Yeah.
go to a like a what's it called, like the decider, penalty shootout kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like a dance.
deadlock.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you think he goes through as well? Because it might not be two people.
I like the idea. I like the idea of that actually being right. So it's gone down to 2 performers. Can we get on Smoke and Mirrors and Peter Holmes to the stage?
Yeah.
And it's like a clap off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really confusing, Smoke and Mirrors and The Illusionist. Because you think Smoke and Mirrors
Yeah,
would be the...
Who am I clapping for?
Yeah.
But that happens on stage, and he crushes the dove in his hand after he finds out that he's
Yeah.
lost, and then realizes that mask is fake. Goes into the house, smashes the back doors in, nicks it, knowing that that's going to foil the Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heat.
Yeah.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got a bit of tension there. Does Steve and Denzel go? Do they suspect anybody? Do they go looking for the mask? Do they think we need to paint another one? Like, what is the
Well, they got to start. They got to get another one first.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Need
That's-
another one first.
And what did they use for the last time? Because I imagine,
Yeah.
like, what have they used for the mask?
I imagine it was.
Might have been the dad's.
That's what?
Might have been the dad's mask. He might have been injured in the war or something. That's why they've got this mask, and it's because masks like that were really expensive. Probably.
What
back then, weren't
material would you be using for a mask at
Probably
that time?
paper mache, wouldn't it?
they? Yeah, or porcelain maybe as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So they go and buy a balloon.
Yeah. Have they been invented yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, when
They
were balloons?
just apply a layer on their own face.
Yeah.
I imagine material wise for a proper mask, I don't know, probably some like fucking expensive wood,
I
right?
think porcelain.
yeah.
I think porcelain.
Porcelain.
I think we're in
Have a
porcelain.
toilet on your face, no chance. It'd be light. It'd be like I don't know, sandalwood or
Yeah, 'cause
something.
everything was so comfortable back then, medical wise, Harry. Yeah, that's the.
It would, you like a wooden leg. It'd be wood. I'm telling you, definitely.
Right, so it's a wooden mask.
Yeah.
But some craftsmanship, though, wasn't it, to
Yeah.
make it? So it takes a long time to make these masks that look like.
Yeah, I like the idea of Steve painting his own mask as well. Like,
Yeah.
isn't Denzel painting it for him? He's like, no, it needs to be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Like-
Denzel's like a counterfeiter, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
a wheeler dealer, so he knows how.
Yeah,
He
and
knows
so-
how to make it look good.
They've lost one. They go and get a new one. The
Yeah.
new one isn't as good, right? Like the lips are 3 times the size of this set over here, right? And it's all way out of whack. It's like held on with a bit of string. You know what I mean? When it's windy, it kind of flaps away from the face.
Yeah, because I think he's made it in a rush. So I reckon the time where it's actually been robbed, the mask, is on the day of the next heat.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, we've got this in the bag. Same again. Go on.
What if they manage to get hold of just a surgeon's mask, right? And they just like stick that on, right?
Right.
Yeah, the paint like the bits on the bottom, right? Obviously, we've said his entire face is burnt,
Yeah.
but all they're covering is this part of his face.
Yeah.
And it might be that in the second heat, when he shows up, they're like obviously looking at the paperwork, like, okay, he's a former burns victim. Look at him and he's like, yeah, it's improved.
Yeah.
Healed.
It's like,
Got
yeah,
some
she
cream.
turned me into a newt.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
better. It's that type of, thing. So yeah, they've got the second mask on. They're at the second heat, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
And
He's like, don't call it heat, please. It's triggering
it's
now.
too much.
Yeah.
They do Ness and Dormer again, right?
Yeah.
And it's like this time it's in front of 500 people, right? And it's like golden buzzer shit. Wow, right? You are through to the final. But I think as a result of how close Peter and they were in the last, that Peter is a wild card that is put in to the final. Okay.
Last minute, yeah.
Yeah. I just think like it's like sometimes you can have a really strong third out of everyone that you've had in the heat, and he was that. So yeah, he's gone through as a wild card. So I imagine we are moving towards them getting down to London.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But
And,
also, the news was getting bigger and bigger because obviously it's, again, not much happened back then. So,
Yeah.
Like
going to Leeds and winning
Yeah.
is a big deal.
They've got the bus.
what?
But more people will know them. Like, it's like, It's like them people who get caught out lying on talent shows, isn't it? Like somebody goes, well, no, I know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
the
if
the dog didn't die that morning?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
their fame gets so big, right, that Franz Ferdinand is shot, and that is on page 3 of the paper, right? Because smoke and mirrors is front page news, right?
Yeah.
Like it's honestly, it's the voice of a generation. You know what I mean? The jewel of the British Empire, like they're in the final of this £1 million prize, and £1 million back then, that's like some country's budget. So a lot of dough.
Where did Franz Ferdinand get shot?
Austria, wasn't it? Yeah.
He was
in a car. He got shot.
No, it was
In the head.
Right.
It
Okay.
was an assassination, wasn't it? And then it all
I don't know.
kicked off.
I really like Take Me Out though, the song they sang, which was
Yeah. I was just trying to rewrite history then.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I like that. I reckon, so they're going down to London. Peter Holmes, as he sort of said to Smoke and Mirrors, like, I'm onto you.
Yeah, I know.
Because obviously,
First thing he did.
Because I reckon if he said that to them, are they the sort of people who would potentially murder Peter Holmes, like try and get rid of him? If he's got something...
Oh, for £1 million back then, of course you would.
Yeah, but I also think that Peter Holmes is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Peter
Holmes has got his own skeletons in the closet.
Like, have you ever seen the film with Hugh Chapman, The Illusionist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film, right? I imagine him being that type of, like, on the surface, he looks this very calm, cool, measured guy, but underneath, it's like, no, you're a fucking monster. And that's what I think that Peter Holmes is. Like, there's just dead doves all around his flat.
He keeps sending messages. He keeps sending messages with these doves. He keeps flying them into their house.
Yeah.
All these, I know, I'm onto you.
It was a dove that stole the mask. He trained one and sent it in.
I like that.
So, I think they get down to London, the Palladium. Yeah, that's the venue of choice for this big show.
Yeah.
And how long have we got left on time?
I think we should get another prompt.
Yeah, I think it's time for another prompt just before the big final.
Okay,
so I reckon we get another prompt in. So this is just before the Palladium final.
Give it up, Enid. No one wants to see it.
Right, so that's a quote, I'm guessing, is it?
That's from, Daniel Hurd, actor.
Right, so it's give it up, Enid.
Yeah.
No one wants to see it.
Yeah.
Right. So she's going to be in the talent competition. you would think.
Enid's definitely
give it up, Enid. Nobody wants to see it.
Person,
Sticky Vicky of 1913.
Sticky Vicky, I like that.
Just taking your socks off.
She's firing ping pong balls out of that thing.
Sticky Enid.
Yeah, that is insane.
In Enid.
She's called Auntie Enid.
Right, okay. So who's saying that to her? Is it one of the judges? Is it Smoke and Mirrors?
Yeah, I think if we are going down the route of being a Sticky Vicky and she's firing balls out of herself, right? I reckon it's a case of like 3 buzzers, and they're like. And
what is the buzzer though? Because I don't imagine it being electric.
A bell.
It'd be one of them. Like that.
Yeah.
No, they're all southern, but it's just it's a working class northern person.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. It's just a peasant.
Pull her out.
And I think she's continuing to just, bombard them with these balls, and they're just like, get her off the stage, give it up.
She's the first act.
Nobody wants to see it, and she.
Yeah, but she's managed to progress through 2 heats with that act. So she's been fucking loved in 2 parts of the country.
Yeah, because her heat was in real. Right. And they were like,
smashed it.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
She was fucking fantastic, so she was.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So Enid's come on. We've managed to deal with that prompt quite quickly. Enid, we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Do one.
Yeah. Disqualified for...
indecent exposure?
Yeah. Vulgar.
Yeah,
vulgar.
And at that time, it would have been very vulgar. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would have been heinous. That would have been...
It'd have like having sex in the street.
Yeah.
It'd be up there with that, wouldn't it?
Okay. Can we put some names on the judges?
I imagine it's probably... who's like a big figure back then? I don't know.
History's not your strong point.
Yeah.
Maybe Archduke Franz Ferdinand is one of them. Oh, he's already been shot, hasn't he? That was in the paper.
No, that was... Oh, if it's already been in the paper. Yeah.
I suppose we could change it. It's your story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just going off what I've seen on TV, maybe one of them could be Tommy Shelby. You know what I mean? That was set around that time. Tommy Shelby.
Shelby. Yeah. Tommy Shelby, the guy that designed the Titanic.
Yeah.
Like the guy that survived but didn't.
Yeah, and JP Morgan maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
JP Morgan's funding it.
Yeah.
Who's right? Yeah, I
So
ship stuff like.
do you know? Hey, do you know
Oh, I heard about that. The conspiracy
about
where
the
it was
Titanic,
like.
how he always they were all supposed to go on it.
Yeah.
All his competitors, and they were all supposed to speak about it. But the last minute, JP Morgan didn't go on the ship. But
Yeah.
but he's like
Wily.
he's biggest bank, one
Yeah.
of the biggest banks in the world, JP Morgan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
They're bankrolling the competition.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
Cool.
he's
And
there
what,
as like a sponsor.
and what was the final prompt? What was the one in red?
They turned down the 1 million prize money.
They turned down the £1 million prize money.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I forgot he turned it down. That was a
Right.
changed it around.
Okay. So how are we doing this then? Do they get foiled with the mask, or do they manage to keep it under wraps, or is it Peter Holmes who actually wins the £1 million prize money? Do you know what I mean? What is
Yeah.
the angle?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this film?
Right, I reckon Enid's their mum.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And they're so aghast that she's been knocked out of the competition because they like didn't realise their mum could do that.
Yeah.
Why would she be doing it around the flat in Leeds?
Yeah, that's why Dad
Yeah.
left.
So yeah. So they were couldn't keep him in ping pong ball.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
And I like the fact that Enid didn't enter the Pontefract heat. She's obviously travelled to different places.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
it's a real. She was like, I don't want to embarrass the lads.
Right. Okay.
Entering
So
national competition.
Yeah.
keep rolling with it. So Enid's actually their mum. Go on.
Yeah, Enid's their mum. They've seen her be. Everyone else has been knocked out. It's between them two, but she's been disqualified, and they feel it's unfair that she's been disqualified.
Right. Okay.
All
So
right, it's like a boycott.
Yeah. So they're turning down the money to give it to Enid.
Right, so you're saying that they've actually won this competition. Peter Holmes, because Peter Holmes is still in the final at this point, isn't he?
Yeah.
So what is before we get to that point? I reckon what is Peter Holmes' trick for this finale?
I reckon we could add more tension. I reckon he's made Enid disappear.
Right. Okay.
And as like a bit of a hostage situation, like
He's doing that. He's doing that.
Put her in a wardrobe, and they're like, "Where's she gone?"
Yeah, and he's going to do the the handkerchief trick with her later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Right. So yeah, the competition obviously it's down to them two.
Yeah.
They've done their bit. They've smashed it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just thinking because I do like the mum element, and that it is the mum. So I'm thinking.
We're getting there. Don't you worry.
Well, what I was thinking was as a suggestion. So she's gone on, done her bit, fired the ping pong balls. They're a bit like fucking hell, mum.
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been disqualified.
Yeah.
And they're a bit disgusted with her actually. Smoke and mirrors. Like it's almost like you're not. I'm no relation to you. That was disgusting what you just did on that stage.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you ever again. And she's like, right, okay. Peter Holmes needs an assistant.
Yeah.
Enid, do you fancy getting involved?
Yeah.
Being the assistant. So there's that element of rivalry against her sons now because they've disowned her. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get what
And
you
a bit
mean.
of tension as well because like Peter will know that they love the mum, so he's got a bit of a
Yeah, so he's got the hostage element and
Yeah.
he's got the fact that she is now against. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to add something in there.
Do you think we could get another prompt if you wanted to do another?
No,
prompt?
I reckon I want to know what. So let's say that Peter's gone on stage, right? He's got his doves and he's got Enid. What is the trick that he does with it?
I think I know what he does for his trick, right? I think the curtains open, right, and Peter Holmes is so dramatic. He's like a dark, totally dark stage, spotlight on him. He's in like a full dinner suit, right? Okay, arms wide, and then the lights slowly fade, and there are 600 dead doves on the stage, right? Okay, and I and I think as he's standing there, he has like the classic kids magic kit wand in his hand, right? He's got two of them, right? And I think he does it, and they all like come back to life, right? They all start like flying up and just hovering in the air like that, and there's this like ethereal type music in the back, and I start. And Peter Holmes is just, like, I give you the resurrection. And then people are just like, obviously, like, oh my God. And then the clapping comes and he goes, and they go, all back down again.
Brings him back to life just to kill him.
That's what I think the trick is.
The mum has to be involved.
Yeah.
She was the one killing him. She was
yeah.
taking him out of the sky. Every time they flew past, it was like duck hunt.
When he's hovering them out, she's shouting, pull.
That is an unreal visual. That.
I just like the idea of that be so mesmerising to see. And it's like, how is he doing it? But they're like chirping in that when they're there, and then and they're fucking gone again.
Pull.
Also, he's beaten death.
I love the fact he's resurrected 600 doves just to kill them again for a competition.
Oh, yeah, he's a very evil man, isn't he?
And the crowd goes wild for it as well.
Yeah. Well, back then it was a bit more just, used to have hangings back then.
Yeah,
So it was
they're a bit less, you know. There's no Peter back then.
Yeah.
And Smoke and Mirrors have to follow that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
With Ness and Dormer.
But
Yeah.
well, they need something.
Yeah.
I think they need something big.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't just win off this. He's brought 600 ducks back to life and then killed them again. We need something big. So they need to do something, don't they?
What are they gonna
I reckon.
go on?
When we get on there, and all you hear is "Come and hold my hand." And it's Robbie Williams feel.
They invent pop music.
No, I was thinking
Bit of S Club 7.
I was thinking they come back on stage, and obviously there's been this element of a sob story. There's been a sob story all the way through it.
Yeah.
And is it this sort of like, are they trying to say that they've been healed? Like, you know what I mean? The sob story being like,
But they need the voice covered because he's not the singer, remember?
yeah.
So he needs his face covered still.
But do you know them things where it's like the Gareth Gates stutter, and he like overcome it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He overcome it, and is it like this thing of like,
Yeah.
I was burned?
Yes. What is right? He comes on stage and he goes, "I can see."
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "I've got my face back."
No, but he does that. But before he does it, obviously it's been documented in the news that he's blind, and they walk on stage together, being guided by his brother Steve, and he stops Steve. He goes, "Steve, stop!"
I can see.
And he puts his hand to his glasses, and the crowd go, and he goes, and just pops him on his head like that, and he's like, "Yeah, I can
see.
I can
Yeah.
see," and the crowd go fucking wild for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like, oh my God, as if he did it blind all this time.
Yeah, and that's almost like a magic trick.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like he's outshone Peter Holmes. He's, "Bastard."
Yeah. And it takes off his mask as well, Steve. It's like, like over time it's just healed through this process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the crowd, once again, eating it up for some reason.
Yeah.
But Peter Holmes knows is
Yeah.
like,
Fucking fools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just done a little bit of makeup, and it looks like it's the remnants of a.
yeah.
But then, so the crowd's going wild, but they need to sing, don't they? They need to sing still.
Yeah, what song do they go for?
Well, I think they change it up. I had the visual of him being a live ventriloquist.
Who?
of like him controlling him from his knee. Because he still needs to sing and... What's he called?
Steve.
No, the other
Denzel.
one. Denzel can't sing, can he?
No.
So he needs to get past the fact that it's not him singing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to get... Because...
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So they need to get past that. So almost like he's like, sit on my knee.
Right.
Sit on my
do
knee.
you know what? Something I think we've completely overlooked here, right? So in this competition, you have these two brothers who come on together.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
One's blind, one's got burns on his face, and we're trying to convince the people that it's Denzel who sings.
Yeah.
But the other guy is just stood there,
Supporting him.
just
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't...
supporting him just because he's blind.
Frank Sinatra made a living just doing this.
That is unbelievable. That
Talent
right.
was a lot less. People expected less back then.
Right, okay. But what about then if they reveal that it is actually Steve singing? You know what I mean? And they just come all out, just sort of say, "It was me all along. I hope you can sort of support us for who we are." And the crowd really get behind them. And we make it dead simple. But then it's the Peter Holmes aspect of coming on being like, "This is a fucking sham."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
And then I imagine there's some sort of fight or killing or, you know what I mean? There's some sort of, but everyone thinks it's a performance still.
Yeah.
And there's like this tension in the final.
What if the final song is, "This is what it sounds like when the doves cry"?
Oh.
Right.
What a nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
because of the
he's really know
doves.
that they
It dovetails well.
Because then he brings the doves back again.
I imagine he summons the doves again and
Yeah.
fires them at Smoke
Yeah.
and Mirrors. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's like a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
But then Steve uses his voice to stop them.
Yeah.
what is this story?
What if like?
So have they won? Have they won?
Right, let's just go even more mental, right? He resurrects the doves, right? There's 600 of them. So he
The doves are like, bloody hell.
he divides them between the three of them, right? So there's 200 doves holding up each of them, like as individuals, right? So that they sunk the claws and they're just fluttering away like that. And Peter Holmes is like, unless you don't give me that money, yeah, you will be flown away into oblivion, right? Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to drop you in the Somme, mate, right? Okay, with me 200 doves.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's at that point that they relinquish. They're like, do you know what? Family's more important than anything in life. So let's just call it quits. You have you have your money, take your doves, and we're going back to Leeds.
That is some symbolism right there. What with doves being the bird of peace.
Yeah. I think there's layers to it. You know what I mean?
I think there's layers to it.
Yeah.
There's some literary devices in here.
Yeah. There'll be people listening to this that have been on the same journey we've been on and the same mental image, but I just like the idea.
Nobody will have been on that image.
They will have.
Yeah, they will. I love the idea of a threat being, carry on, I'll fucking fly you away.
Yeah,
but mate, war's going on.
I'll drop you from 20 foot.
I thought you were going to have the doves like attacking them like kamikaze pilots.
Yeah.
No,
Pearl Harbor.
I imagine like they're almost like crucifixes. That's how they're like being held by these doves, right? You know, one of them's maybe aggressively holding their hair back. You know what I mean? As if it's like a ransom.
How many doves do you think it'd take to pick you up?
200.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty heavy.
250.
So what? We'll split 25 from us. You can have it.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. He's like, World War I's kicking off. We're on the cusp of war because you sold that to Atagon, and now if you don't give me that £1 million, I'm flying you to France. And good luck. Fight weeks actually in Belgium, and at the Somme. Good luck fighting in Belgium.
And that's why they turned down the £1 million. Yeah. I think we've got there.
Yeah,
I think we've done well.
Yeah.
Congrats, Phil, on getting there with us.
Work, mate.
We did it. We did it. We all did it together.
Yeah.
That was good.
Zero topical jokes about it, you know what I mean? But we had a narrative. We got there.
Well, it was topical for 19.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
I don't know how accurate that was, though, Phil, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, no, after I said it was in Belgium, I'm like, I don't think the Battle of the Somme.
I don't think Belgium existed then.
I'm pretty sure Belgium has always existed.
I think Belgium was formed after. Was there like a.
Was it?
Yeah, if you Google it, I don't think it's that old Belgium.
Well.
Anyway, so
should probably brush up on World War One and see, because
any history.
Yeah.
Well, when the production of this podcast goes up, we're going to have like a dictionary corner, which is actually just going to be some like Oxford graduate, and we'll just go to them, be like, Philip, please tell us. Oh, sorry, the Battle of the Bulge, in the Ardennes. Let's carry on.
Yeah. Extra credit he's doing it for.
Yeah.
Flipping heck.
I enjoyed that.
I did enjoy it. I thought the visuals in it was very nice.
Stunning.
How did you find it, Phil?
I enjoyed Enid. The introduction of Enid was great, where we had to sort of on the fly.
Yeah, I like it. Literally at the end.
Yeah.
Is it one of them when we were like tossing stuff out, you're thinking, where the fuck are we going with this? Or
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not a story creator, but it was good to.
No, you had
some ideas.
You had some mad prompts as well, I think.
Yeah,
so, they were.
I thought you did well to get your character on its feet.
Yeah. That was the part that was the hardest bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's getting the character name. I'm never good at coming up with names. Like when I do a pub quiz, it's always got to be a pun.
Yeah.
But I always sit there. It's like when the quiz is over, then I'll write the name.
And there's always pressure. Like, you're the comedian. Think of a name. It's like, no.
Do you know what? This is a weird thing about pub quizzes. Whenever I do them, no one believes me when I say the answer.
Why? You're joking?
I thought you meant just no one believes you do pub quizzes. I was like, why? Why would they not believe you?
No, but when you get the answer right, and everyone's like, nah. How do you know that? And I'm like,
really?
well, you haven't got any suggestions. Why don't you just write down mine?
They'd rather do nothing.
Are you going on these pub quizzes with your friends or?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Dead to me now.
Fly some doves at them. I think that'll do it. The fucking image, mate, of 600 doves being
brought back to life.
Imagine that on BGT.
Like organs while it's happening in the background. Like it's so intense, the visual of it, and then he just fucks them off. And they all,
and then imagine seeing two blokes sing Ness and Dormer and being like, yeah, no, that was better.
No, because he does this. All that stuff resurrects some of the afterlife, and then he just goes. But I'm not blind.
I like the idea of him obviously bringing the same doves to every competition, and then for that sort of like 15 seconds of life that they get, like yes, just to be killed again, and seeing the brothers get crushed when he gets angry.
The collective thud of all them doves hitting the stage would be so loud.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Duff, 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 duff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it. Should we take a break then and then come back and...
Well, I reckon, yeah, we take a little break and then we will come back, just wrap it up, and then, I'm happy with that. Right,
Sweet.
We'll be back in a sec.
Just a little bit.
And we're back. We've just had a little break there to conjure up a name for the episode. Phil just suggested, what was it?
Enid's Minge.
Enid's Minge.
I don't think we'll go with that.
Yeah. My mum listens to this podcast, and I know at that point she'd be like, "Oh God."
Not called Enid, is she?
She called Sue, but it's fine. But Denzel's Doves, that was the title you suggested.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Denzel's Doves. Yeah, and you know what? We'll just do the full shebang. If there was a soundtrack for this film or this story, what would it be? So I reckon it's got to be something to do. It's a Kind of Magic. Oh no, but I suppose that we're going more towards Peter Holmes.
What was the song you said in the episode? You said
When the Doves Cry by Prince.
Oh, When Doves Cry. Din, 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 din.
Yeah, there you go.
Din, 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 din.
Soundtrack sorted. And yeah, I enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah.
I'd watch it as a film.
Yeah, I'll
The
definitely watch
trailer
it.
would be good.
It would.
The trailer when you see the doves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like a bit of a. It's definitely like got comedy elements to it, but it's quite like bit of a drama as well. You know what I mean? It's not a thriller.
Yeah.
I reckon it's
Suspense.
yeah, a bit of suspense in there. Yeah, I liked it. I did like the visuals. I'm just trying to think. I know we don't usually do the actors who play it, but I feel like I've got an idea of who would play who. I feel like Stephen Graham would play a good Denzel or Steve. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, like
the
the characters in Snatch.
Yeah.
Jason Statham's character in
Turkish.
Turkey.
2 minutes Turkish.
Yeah. And I'm just
Tommy.
trying to,
Turkish and Turkish and Tommy.
and Peter Holmes actually being the guy. Who is it? Del Toro, the actor.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd make a good Peter Holmes.
I thought Stephen Fry.
What for Peter Holmes?
That's a good
Yeah,
job for
yeah.
Stephen Fry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like one of the judges to be played by Joe Pasquale.
Yeah.
Putting
He's played
out
Archduke
there.
Franz Ferdinand.
But yeah,
Is that a gun?
That was quite good. That. But I said, yeah.
I think we've got everything.
Yeah.
We just want to say thank you very much for everyone that's been watching and listening to the podcast, wherever you're getting it, whether that be Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Tends to be Spotify where people listen to pods. You know what I mean? That's that number one.
Make sure you come see me on tour before you subscribe.
Oh, we've
to
done
the
that
Yeah,
already,
podcast.
we've mentioned your tour,
Come-
mate. But yeah, by all means.
PhilChapmanComedy.com.
Oh yeah, we do it proper here, mate. I've
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
where you are, where to find you.
Yeah.
Address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You excited for the tour?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Got some good dates in there. It's like 11, 12.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that
I
your
would-
third date in the month.
No.
You know, I've worked with you a few times. Yeah, you're always like shit up. So definitely go and check him out.
Well, I was just going to say on the tour element. Did you do you have like someone who books the tour for you, or have you sort of contacted the venues yourself? How do you
it's
go
all
about
this
doing
guy.
it?
All
So
me.
you self-produce
Everything done by me.
right? Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a ball ache. But
Oh, amazing.
it's been
man.
done.
It'll pay off though.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Just
Good
need
man.
people to buy tickets.
They
So
will.
head
man.
on over to Phil Chapman Comedy.
Yeah.
I just keep I gotta keep plugging it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Get out there, buy tickets.
we'll put all your links when we share this. Yeah, I mean, people do enjoy the pod, so fingers crossed. You
you
know.
can see why. It's a good pod.
Oh,
Been
we
good fun.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, tell you who didn't have fun. The Doves. Right?
Yeah. The Doves
but-
did cry.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did cry. But thank you very much for listening, watching. If you're enjoying it, please go and tell your mates. Give us a review. We've got 5 stars across the board, mate, and that's where we want to keep it.
Well,
So yeah, thank you very much. We will be back next week with a brand new episode and a brand new guest. But this week has been all made up with Phil Chapman.
Thank you, mate.
Well said, man.
thank you.
It's all made up again. 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 Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was going to be me on the mug.
So well
Imagine
ahead
you
again.
got a specific one for each guest.
Yeah.
One day.
Cost that would.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
No, just have someone engraving in corner as soon as you come in.
Like the FA Cup final.
Get it done, he's here in 5.
2 comics, who gets here first?
Yeah.